Still I give you praise, praise, highest praise, hallelujah. Still I give you praise, praise, highest praise, hallelujah.
I'm just going to upload it now. Judgment Day, they're all called Judgment Day. I'm going to watch the day and put the titles in, inshallah, if I have time.
Purge me, wash me from within, restore me,
That's broken. That's is it LORVINS or W? Sometimes just with that stroke out, it can make all the difference in the world. And I really love him. He's wonderful. I might drop some comments on it. It just broke my heart if he wasn't a real Hebrew, but I'm getting ears to hear, you know. It's heartbreaking, man, to hear all these fake cats, you know. But I just listened to more Immortal Technique, Jedi Mind Tricks, played a few mind tricks on me and methods, but it all works out well. I don't know which one of you said on the one that broke Jesus, you know. But like, you know, like the Father King Selassie said that he'll break us, like Jesus got broken, you know. And then Selassie himself come and done his sacrifice, didn't they? Let me just find a tissue. So I got it's okay. Sorry, I washed my jumper later. I wash my clothes a lot. Like I said, I'm making saints clothing, like Apostle Paul, and many of you like have successfully overcome Morganans. If you have spare clothes that you've worn, find the right people to give them to, you know. Obviously we have our white robes of righteousness, you know, that Yeshua paid the price for. There's only one Jesus Christ, but there's many Christs. I think there's 4 or 8 of us at the moment. I'm an anti-Christ, I hate Christ. No, I don't really, I love him to death because I'm half angel of death. I'm the ANTE, the one that comes before Christ, not long got off the cross. So I'm just getting my 33 degrees, that's the 33 vertebrae in the spine. They've done some terrible things to my spine. Like I said to Laura McKinley Bay in America, Wisconsin prison he was in, he was moved around a lot, you know, because he was peaceful and he was organising among the prisoners, you know. The prisoner I want to get in touch with most in England is Mark Barnsley. He's from Leeds, ABC, Anarchist Black Cross. And like I said, I was friendly with him by emails. He was very kind to me. Didn't patronise me or anything, even though I was mentally ill, you know. And when I got a section in mental hospital, he was the first one I wrote to. That was when I was in the Malls. I had a really nice little 1-bedroom house, like downstairs and upstairs. And that's when I had Bagheera as the ragdoll cat. He had blue eyes, and he was white and fluffy, the half Persian, so really just relaxed. And he was, and I was into Islam, and that was before I went astray and thought I was on the right path, you know. Because it says in Revelations that Satan will overcome the saints. Some of us got killed, like many of our Christians, brethren in Nigeria, for example. I love Nigeria, praying hard for her, and I have a very good friend that I hardly speak to because we're both so busy. His name's Apostle Daniel, so check him out on Facebook and join his group. Pray, you know, send money, support him with like music and that, wherever you can do, every little thing counts. I don't know if this is in the Bible or Quran, but I just made it up, but this is a true saying. But even a smile, you know, a smile is charity, sakah, you understand? Yeah, and it's a month of Lent, so it's about giving up things. Remembers precious saints. No, we don't like him anymore. Pastor Robert Clancy. The first thing I didn't like about him was that he said dreadlocks were a sign of madness. Can you imagine? Yeah. And then I got to like him, you know, but I've realised he's very, very evil. I'm quite worried because he's touring Africa again at the moment. The one good thing about him was he was against the COVID. You want to come and show your beautiful black face in case there's any racist, anti-women people watching? Sometimes just have a black male, and I'm not cheating on my husband as a cat, and I'm pretty sure it actually is taking cat form. He's still going to come in man form, you know. I wonder if they can both be in the same room at the same time. An interesting question. I hope so, because I really like him. I'll tell you a secret, White Paul wants me to get that little lunar cat called LUNA, like the moon. Yeah, I'm going to be the goddess of the moon again. They say that Allah is the god of the moon. He is, he's the god of me. You understand? I'm not the goddess of Venus, I never was, you know. Yeah, Jack is the god of Mars, of course, god of war, the red horseman. Like I said earlier, I don't think I was the pale horseman, you know. I'm pretty, because I used to say before when I was mad, I was Anubis. You know, for the Egyptian that measured the heart against the feather. And I bet it was very seldom that I found someone that was suitable for heaven, because we know in Egypt you had to go through the underworld, and that's I read the Tibetan Book of the Dead, yeah. But I didn't bow down to the little gods and goddesses. I just bowed down to Jesus and to God, to the Father that I didn't know was Selassie at that time. That was years ago. My granddaughter Sophie, who's 17 now, said, "You better read this, Nanny." I don't know if that was a death threat. She also said when she was about 6, "Nanny, do you know why you're mad? You were a queen in heaven, and you fell, and you've had a bad life. You're going to explode, and Allah, but it's okay. Allah will reward you with a good life." Because she was her grandparents. Her father is called Yusuf Ghani. She doesn't want to speak to him anymore. He was very violent, and you know, it's my daughter Kaya Shay, who used to be called Michaela, but she changed her name. We named her Michaela because my baby father, who said his name was Michael Mitchell, or Mitch they used to call him, like the drummer that used to play with Eric Clapton. He's played with Eric Clapton. I like that song by Eric Clapton, He'll Meet Again in Heaven, or something about his little boy that died, you know. So yeah, the gates between heaven and hell are down, you know, so I'm not being a necromancer and raising the dead like by witchcraft. They're coming to me, but like Red Alp said, says to spirits 3 times. I went back to a little sleep, and I was told to go straight to the shop when I wake up. Normally I have to pray for at least an hour before I can even speak to anyone, but I'm getting more strongly defended since I made my sacrifice yesterday. It's really made a lot of difference. It's not how people think, you know. God doesn't wish any harm, and it's by free will, you understand? Yeah, I was like tech slave wife for about 5 minutes, and he divorced. No, he didn't divorce me. And let me just explain, let me just get a drink. My revenge is sweeter than Coca-Cola. I read years ago, I used to feel so guilty about drinking Coca-Cola, but now I know it's really good because it hollows out your stomach. If you've seen those adverts, we take a dirty coin that makes it brand new, you know. And what they do in I think it's South America, they kidnap Coca-Cola organisers, you know, like for workers' rights, for fair wages and everything, and they kidnap their children, man. Like Texas, my revenge is sweeter than diabetics, than diabetes, you know. Yeah, so I was drinking that. Also, precious saints, you need to be drinking black coffee. If you've got like an espresso machine or something, that's really good. I might even buy myself one, but I quite like the Nescafe. Again, I stopped drinking that because it's not fair trade, and I pray quite a bit. I used to pray every time I had a drink, you know, because the sugar people, the cocoa people that plant the cocoa, and we're not just talking the cocaine that Immortal Technique sings about in that song, about the coca fields, you know, the cocaine, and the worse, the crack cocaine, man. It's been proven that the CIA, Criminals in Action, Central Intelligence Agency in America, brought that in because they knew the black messiahs were going to arise, you know. It's like Immortal Technique says in the song, what do you think, God just sent one revolutionary messiah? He sent me. Maybe he's sending you, maybe he's preparing you. If you're watching me right now, it's no coincidence. Adam Buick from the Socialist Party of Great Britain, a very good friend of mine, stuck by me when I was mentally ill, when I was on drugs. He used to help me financially. I couldn't pay it back then. Now I've got money through the benefits, so I pay it back a bit at a time. You know, I've applied for a budget loan for all of us, actually prisoners, not you people with orphans. I've helped you enough, but I've got an extra £80 staying away because I just went to the cash point. I've got the cooperative card that I use online, or try to, you know. Finally got my online banking working. It's been working 2 days, but I didn't have any money until today. And I've got Santander, or Satan, Santander Bank I call it. That's Rob Satan, man. We've got to take back 7-fold everything that he's stolen, not just in money, but, you know, our husbands and boyfriends and children, you understand? Yeah, oh, so that's just a cash card, so I can't use it online. But they did send me some codes on that. I wanted to use it on Sunday because I went and met that girl Kai Shay and Sophie, age 17. Oh yeah, and guess what? On the way home in the taxi, Just said look, and there was Ghanaian food stuff, so they were planning to do the wrong sacrifice again and sell me again, you know. I'm trying not to hate Ghana, but I've had so many bad experiences there. The one guy that I used to be friends with on Facebook is called Eric. Something Faith Ye YA lives. His faith is in the wrong God, you know. And I went back. I think that's when I saw Chris Ecuador, the Mexican holy snake god, clothing, because he had like some girls that he was planning to do similar things, and I had to buy them as slaves. And I had a dream I went to Ghana, and a few children were smiling and a few children were afraid of me, you understand? So I think some of you that were against me, you might have thought I was with Blue-Eyed Willie Lynch, and the other, oh, right for you, darling, Ashamani. Like, he's saying, don't let my beautiful black face distract you. Distract me. Self-destruction is the key. Without knowing what the something is, that's the more technique, I believe, or in my case, that's referring to Hugh P. Newton, really good book, Revolutionary Suicide. John Bowden, I'm not sure what side he's on, if any. I say if any, yeah, but if you're not on God's side, by default, you're on Satan's side. You can't be neutral on a moving train. I can't remember who said that. And you can't sit on the fence, because Satan owns the fence now. Can't remember what I was saying. The birds spoke back to me the first time. They said, please can we have this bread, because it's got lots of seeds in, it was reduced. So we're all trying to save a bit of money. The other thing I've got to do is the dates. The pagan calendar, or like I like to call it, pagan. If you want to be a Gnostic scribe, it's quite easy. The English language, I heard it was based on the Egyptian language, which would make sense because this Queen Elizabeth is dead in hell. I know British people might not like that, a lot of you like the Queen. I never used to like her, I was an anti-royalist, you know. Now I believe in the royal family because I know King Selassie in the spirit and Empress Mene, my mother, and I'm a princess, so I love myself now. It's no longer self-hatred leaking out, you know, like Immortal Technique says. So the pagan is the Gregorian. This is Gammon Christchurch. I didn't buy it, I stole it. I paid quite a bit of money for it, 20-something pounds and 15 postage from America. And then I believe, and then the Christian calendar. So I'm thinking the Ethiopian calendar that I looked at before, and it's something to do with the 13th, which is really good for us, you know. I heard the 13th is the Illuminati number. I suppose it is if you're Illuminati. That's coming over to our side, like in the days of Moses, when Moses went to Pharaoh. Remember, them Satan's magicians go first, but it's easing off now. You should be reaping what you've sown. If you've sown good, you should be being blessed right now, you know. If you're not, there's still time to try. And if you're really wicked, things are just going to get worse, but you won't see it coming on you. That's in Psalms. They don't see their destruction. I see it coming in the clouds. And I'm not talking, I am talking, you know, Revelations. Watching these people that they really think they fooled Messiah. Look what they've got. That's going to be their worst nightmare. But at the moment, in the sky, the chemtrails are spraying everywhere, all over the world. There's unknown blood. And then remember, I told you my dream about shredding my skin off to help people overcome leprosy, because Morgellons is a type of leprosy. I don't think all white people are lepers, although that is said, and then some become clean lepers if you haven't got the spots. I know Adam's got that, so I'm praying for his healing. He's got some kind of skin thing, you know. Because what about the albinos, or maybe they're kind of lepers as well? I'm not sure about that. So that's the Christian calendar, Ethiopian. The Muslim calendar, my friend Mohammed something on my WhatsApp. I've got just a small band of young like male soldiers with me now, like spiritual, not warriors like in the physical, just young guys at the college or looking after orphans, you know, that text approved of, that I'm allowed to talk to. I don't have to ask him every time, okay, is this guy safe, can I talk to him? He's not trying to be a bossy over me, he just really cares about me, and we can also have been fooled so many times. So and text, and that's like Prophet Muhammad, when he first started out, he only had like a small little band of soldiers, you know, and like his first wife, sometimes she was Catholic, I hope she was. I know King Selassie with the Tahido Orthodox Ethiopian Church, you know. So the real Catholics were apostolic is the word, like Apostle Paul, like I said, I've been making saints' clothing. If you want to choose your own and you can prove to me that you're a saint, obviously it's hard to prove, you don't have to like show your body on photos or anything. I'm not trying to do a dirty deed. Talk to Tech in the spiritual, talk to Allah first of all, in Isaac's name, Jesus' name. And you know, if you've got Facebook or YouTube with videos and that helps me decide. I can probably buy a couple of people today. If you want, I think pajamas is best, because it says in the Bible in Psalms that the saints will be bringing the judgments on their beds of languishing, their sick beds, you know. And then I can wear them for like a few days and then send them to you, you know. And then pajamas aren't too, you know, or like whatever you think. I've got quite a lot of stuff from there. It's cheap. Sophie said it's to do with slave labour. Most of the things are slave labour. As socialists, we know that capitalism is like wage slavery. Marx said a lot of true things. But the best thing I like, that I think this economy of Christ will be based on, although I don't know for certain, that's more text in Jesus' department, from each according to ability to each according to need. Because like Apostle Paul said, if you don't work, you don't eat. Obviously, if you're a child or you're old. And some cheeky bastard wrote to me asking for money. And then when I answered him, I said, you know, I don't have all the money yet. You have to trust me on faith. And God will be handing over the British economy to me. And we have the Commonwealth. When Britain invaded all the other countries, including Ireland, we were under subjection. There's still 6 counties of Northern Ireland under British control. Most people there just want peace. We're fed up with the IRA. I used to really like the Irish Republican Army. I always preferred the INLA, Irish National Liberation Army, because they had a socialist agenda. It's like James Connolly said, and Brother Loki, actually Loki, quotes in a song, the British never had any right in Ireland, never will. They don't have a right, but they're our invited guests, same as I'm their invited guest. I was born in Hersham, because I'm a shaman, transforming the dance. I know some of you Muslims, and even Rastafaris, because you only smoke the holy herbs, don't you? Mary Jane, marijuana. But you know a lot of the Native Americans, tribe of God, they're not all the tribe of God, so we mustn't say that, because I felt my spirit, some of the like indigenous ones that may have also been black ones, like the Irish. I like being all different colours. I think it would be a bit boring if we were all black and with brown eyes, you know, although that is a beautiful colour. Young, gifted and black, like Jesus, you know. I used to hate being pale. I was like self-loathing wigger, you know, like I say, self-loathing Jew, and I was a Jew. I'm glad that Yeshua didn't tell me I was a bloodline Hebrew Israelite straight away, because I was so humble, and like I said, Gentiles will be going into, not slavery, will be handmaids and servants of the Hebrew Israelites for 7 years. I think it's 7 years, because I know you have the Jubilee, and that's what one of the nice sisters, she commented on Gathering of Christ Church, like I say, Gathering of Satan Church. I had a raw heart. You knew who I was. You knew Yeshua was on me, or whatever, that I was a messenger, trying to send demons against me. I bet you're feeling pretty stupid now, or you probably Satan's got you with delusions of grandeur, like I once had when I was paranoid schizophrenic, that you're going to destroy the Messiah and take his place and fool the world, you know. I'm putting down your mask, same as I'm putting mine. I'll take the last down when the Blue Kachina drops his mask and does his dance or whatever. Yeah, so I'll carry on, and I'm going to, oh yeah, so the Muslim calendar, and I've been also told the Mayan calendar. I think the next saviour type, like Mortal Technique says, I know I've already said it, but God says things twice in the Bible and the Quran, and he told me to do that, but it's important. And what do you think? God only sent a single revolutionary Messiah. Without Jesus the Christ, Isa, Yehoshua, Yahushua, Yeshua, etc. Let's not argue over his name. Emmanuel, he has many, you know. I stopped using Jesus for a long time. It was so hard. Every time I was listening to a Christian song with Jesus in my mind, I'm saying Yeshua, Yeshua. And we are allowed to say Jesus. I speak the English language. The Queen's, not the Queen's English, but you know. If we want to have a J in our language, I don't see what's wrong with that. J for Jesus, J for Jah, you know. As for these Jews that don't want to turn to God, Yeshua warned us in the book of Revelations, and I know the blasphemy of them that say they are Jews, but they are not. They are the synagogue of Satan. That's mostly your Zionists, like Loki says in the song, never been a yes man, never worked for a Zionist, do you understand? They're the synagogue of Satan. That's why they're so wicked to the Palestinians. I would never treat people like that. I never believed they were God's chosen people because of the way they treat Palestine. But big up the refuseniks in Israel, who probably get a great deal of grief from their blood brethren, you know. They refuse to go to war in Palestine with the IDF, Israeli Defence Force. I'm an Israeli. Are you defending me from my government that's trying to kill me? I've told this to my support worker and that. Maybe I don't say they're trying to kill me because you sound like paranoid schizophrenic, but just kind of releasing, giving them some of what the governments are up to. During World War II, while we were away fighting the Nazis, not me personally, but my granddad certainly was, my granddad, they were testing like chemicals in the sky and everything, same as all the soldiers in Australia that went to Vietnam. And for some petty crime, I was sent to, I can't remember the name of the charity, but they run like a kind of like hostel, and some of the men were like ones that were vets, you know, Vietnam vets, and every time a helicopter went over, they used to get really like, you know, freaked out, and they were all Agent Orange and all that, you know, finding out, having to kill innocent Vietnam, and then the Vietnam soldiers, they ended up torturing people. That's what I always pray for, that the angels who guard the gates of hell, the number 19 is to do with that they can be given new jobs, you understand? If these bastards were, excuse my French, but that's actually in the Bible, that word bastards. And if you're being chastened by the Most High, early on, that's really good. Jesus says in Revelations, slaves who I love, I chasten. If you don't get chastened, you're a bastard. If you're a Christian and you're having your best life now, you know, this is going to be your last life apart from eternal damnation in hell. So maybe deny yourself, pick up your cross and follow Messiah, or follow me. That's going to lead you to the Messiah, and then what will take me, my twin flame. You know, we won't do you wrong. Jesus said about 2 or 3 days ago, because like, he doesn't take control of me. It's a bit like the Naivingi Jammers, the Rastafari elect. The spirits come on them and they commune with them. I got overtaken, didn't I? But now I'm a dappy conqueror, you get me? Yes, Lord, yes, Lord. Blood clot, yeah, Elder Roy, you can speak for me later in cursive if you have permission from Allah. Shasanti Washanti Tiamana Akatiamani Shikwana. Yes, now it's all good. I love being spiritual. Communing with the invisible ones from Barbello. Obviously, I'm half that, you know. I'm a lot of things. I'm a brand new creation. Whoever is in Christ is a brand new creation. The old has passed away, behold, the new has come. 2 packets of cigarettes, 1 Rothmans, Super Kings, of course, because my dad, because Yeshaya, the King of Kings, is a Super King, and King Sasha, he's also the Lion of Judah, the Father and the Son. Like that song by who is that guy, and then he turned Muslim, didn't I? I really used to like him. Another pack of smokes. Yeah, the bread for the birds that was reduced for 1.5. Some yogurts. We really need to eat these. They're quite expensive. That was $2.99. I used to hate yogurt, and then mental hospital at Tolworth, I started liking it. Activia, it has the good bacteria for gut health. That was quite expensive. That was $2.99. So that's about 80p for one, but you only need one every morning, you know. So I was told to buy them. Lemons and lime, citrus fruits are very good. I think it was a Muslim, and they said if you were in captivity, what would you have? And I think it was a citrus fruit. I think an orange, because he said it's good to look at, it smells good, it's good and healthy to eat, and they're just beautiful. I'm really trying to get into nature, because we all think that the food comes from the supermarket, you know, and just to have like fruit in a bowl. I've got a nice bowl. I'm going to sort my flat out. I promise I'm going to do it today. Please. Let's just wait for the before and after. I won't say I'm going to do it, you won't say I'm not, yeah? Let's just wait and see what happens, inshallah. Oh, you wish me the best, thank you. So that was £2, that was 47. And then I'm drinking. It sounds terrible, I'm so sorry. I really hope only the right people are watching my videos. Obviously everyone's very welcome, you know? But it's like Apostle Paul says, all things are lawful to us, but not everything is beneficial. And we're actually told to drink vodka. Like I keep saying that I'll have a Black Russian and pray for the nuclear war to kick off, but I don't think we want a nuclear war anymore. Like a lot of the other little prophets were saying, when the bombs come down, we go up, rupture, but I say rapture of the saints. It might be more like rupture for them, rupture of the stomach, like Brother Judas had to go through apparently, you know, like the Quran says, and like the Gospel of Judas is correct, you know. It's the Gospel of Mary, like Peter said, it sounded like teachings of idols, and it was, you know. Anyway, enough about her, let me carry on with my shopping. And then Paul said to his protege Timothy, a little wine for the stomach because the water was poisoned. The African slave castle where the water was cursed make the hood in America look like paradise. More technique again. You can learn so much from these lyrics. You can't handle the swearing, you can just Google now all the lyrics of every song, almost every song online, you know. So what we're doing to bring the water back, I've been told to drink water. I've always hated water, and that's probably why, you know. But I'm just going to try and drink a little bit a day. And it is Ramadan and Lent, so if you're not a tribulation saint for the tribe of Dan, we've also got obviously indigenous Namaz, that's Australian, tribe of Reuben, indigenous Native Americans, and then the tribe of Gad that went to America, Native Americans, Red Indians. A lot of them, like I said, I sent out the substance, it was taken out my stomach in the spirit, it didn't hurt at all. Text just said, do you want to do your sacrifice now? Oh, you want to say I was his slave wife, and that's to symbolise that I would do anything for him, and that's in the Bible. If you're a slave, if you're a slave to Israelite, and then fellow Israelites set their slaves free after 7 years, that's in the Jubilee. But if you really love your master, and you have like a family with him and everything. He's going to adopt my children now. They are, because that girl's, she's just gone. She's blew her last chance, as far as I know. You know, God knows best. But the three youngest, let me show them. I wasn't allowed to show them before because she said I was putting them in danger because of use of Ghani. He was violent and everything, not to the children, but to her. But they used to wind each other up, you know. I used to try marriage counsel them a lot, you know. They'd listen for a few minutes and then just go on. It's like what Marley said, if you get down and you quarrel every day, you're making work for the devil, I say, you know. So that's Aurora, age 5. Her dad is, he's Irish and a bit English. That's Misty, age 11. She's like the kind of the most chosen. They're all chosen, all children are chosen, of course. She's going to be talking to animals telepathically, of course, like we all will, so, you know, like I do already. I'm not a witch. King Solomon, bless him, I love you, Solomon, spoke to ants and the birds, you know. He gave the Hopi birds a bollocking. That's to do with me, you know. So she'll be like Dr. Doolittle. She'll be like speaking in like, you know, like actual words to the birds and their languages. She's half Pakistani. That's Judgement. She's 8. She's half Pakistani. That's why they have the kind of the olive skin and the dark eyes, whereas Aurora's got blue eyes and lighter hair, a bit kind of gingery. I saw that South Park where they said ginger people had no souls. All of us lost our souls a little bit, didn't we? You know, not just in the music game. So, and their grandfather, I think it was their grandfather, he's really nice. He was in hospital for a long time a few years ago when I was last in contact with them. And as a Christian, I used to pray for him. And when I was in mental hospital one time, he rang me and I told him that in a past life Kai poisoned Prophet Muhammad. And I read that in one of the hadiths. I think it was a Christian lady punished or a Jewish lady poisoned him. He survived, obviously. I don't know if Allah told him not to eat the food, or if, you know, because obviously he followed ISA as best as he could with the knowledge he had. And if you're a disciple of Isa, Jesus, it says in the Bible, Ashamani Tiawana, we will pray in tongues, cast out demons, and overcome poison like the Apostle Paul did when they were shipwrecked. And you know, the people on the island were quite in awe of them and amazed by them because they overcome the shipwreck. And then he got bitten by a snake and they thought, oh, he's an evildoer, he's going to pay now for his crimes. And he just shook the snake off in the fire. I'm down with the right type of snakes. Some doctor, some doctor said that the people with this Morgellons, they have a figure 8 coming up in their forehead under infrared light, you know. And let's not forget, Satan took the form of a snake, didn't he? And obviously Satan is the trickster. Come on, white paw. I don't like to carry him around because he's not my slave, but he is my little baby in this form, isn't he? He likes me carrying him sometimes. Satan took the form of a serpent, you know. And when Moses, when the children of Israel, when we were in the wilderness, we were sick because we disobeyed God again. And the wrong type of snakes bit them and poisoned them. And then Moses threw up the serpent on the whatever it was, and that was to remind us that Messiah was coming, Jesus. And then, like, you know, on the cross, it's to do with the crossroads of time as well, you know, meet you at the crossroads. Can't remember what hip-hop song that was by 2 guys. I really like that. Oh, you darling, I will hurry up because you want to see White Paw wants candy candles. I'm embarrassing him now. It's alright, it's Peg, but he's going to come as a man. I wonder if the cat and the man Teg, he's getting his new body, darling, like the 144,000, the tribe of Benjamin. He's fine, he's absolutely fine. I've tried to him several times. He told me not to go to his concert gigs that he was doing in London. It's not him, you know. Daffodils are Pam. White Paw's little fantasy. It's not a sexual fantasy, it's only a baby. He wants flowers, candles and incense in every room. So we've got this lounge room and kitchen, my bedroom and the bathroom. So I'll show you them all later. I'll do it before and after to encourage my sisters and brothers who hate themselves and think they're not worthy. Reduced again. I always buy all the reduced stuff, you know. If you think they're not worthy and don't deserve. This is what we're going to have for lunch. Corned beef hash, reduced. Oh, and then this is very good. It's called Very Lazy, chopped garlic. We really need a lot of garlic. It helps overcome flus and that, and Morgellons. Also, what you really need is about £21. I can't afford it today, but in 2 weeks when I get my bigger money, like the disability benefit, I should be able to buy a person and send it to them. I bought the cancer bush. They used it against the the Spanish flu, and all the people that took the injection, the antidote, most of them died, you understand? So this is how bad the COVID is. That's £2.10, and then it's all chopped up ready for you, you know? So I just bought a new jar of that. Oh, this is what Tech likes. That's what the cat was licking yesterday on the bread. I thought it was margarine, but it was morcin. That's garlic and herbs, so that's reduced to £2 in the Co-op. I've got one in the fridge, but he said buy another one when it's on special offer, Mum. It's so easy going shopping now, because before I used to forget everything. And obviously the cat's been in my head for a long time. That's why I make all those jokes about white pork, because he's a black male, has me on some power nigger girl, bitch slavery thing. And all he asked me to do is go to this shop, and I need to eat as well. Nigger's got to read, no matter what colour you are. So if you're keeping Ramadan, regular Muslims, if you're keeping Lent, regular Christians, please carry on. You're doing a great job. I've actually done all that, you understand? And now I have to eat, because I'm not just eating for myself. Like when you're pregnant, you don't keep Ramadan, do you, darlings? You get me? There's a video coming up about the sacrifice that I've done. I think it might be the yellow cow in the Quran, and they could barely bear to slay her. I have blemishes because, you know, like Ruth, the idolatress from the Moabites, and then she married them, was it Boaz? She went with her mother-in-law, didn't she? That was a Jewish woman, the Hebrew Israelite, and wouldn't leave her side and worked hard in the fields, because under Hebrew Israelite law we have to leave in the fields the gleanings, the little bits for like poor people. And then she was raised up to be a wife of a great person. I didn't even want to be married. I always wanted to be married, so I used to pretend I didn't, because I always thought they would marry me, and I didn't want to embarrass myself. The person I loved most was Damien Pepper. He used to play for London Irish. He was a heroin addict with me. He had two sons, Louis and some Irish name, and we used to take them in Kaya to play things and that. His mum was really nice. She's a Catholic. I really must get in contact with her again. She was so pleased when I contacted her about 12 years ago, and this is what happened. You can see my testimony. It's got quite a few hundred hits. It's about 13 years ago now, for money. And one day I just suddenly knew that Jesus was real. That's what I call Gnosis, G-N-O-S-I-S. I'm a Gnostic, you understand? We have hidden knowledge, but we share it. Well, Yeshua said, be careful, don't cast your pearls before swine, lest they turn around and trample you. But I'm on the internet, obviously out of raw house selling demons. But that worked out really well for me, you know. I just had this inner gnosis, this just knowing that Jesus was real. He spoke to me, I'm Jesus, I'm here to get you off heroin and methadone. I felt love, like unconditional love. The song I was listening to all the time was Unconditional Love by Jah Cure. And then he's got a song called Babylon Released the Cure. And obviously Babylon system is not going to cure anything. They've got certain AIDS medicine when we know you've got the cure nigger to quote Tech. And so I think I can't speak for him. I've had no communication with him. I wish him all the best. His music helped me through a very dark, not dark place, because I've just come back to life, but it really helped me. Babylon really secure. So the Great Whore of Babylon. If you're Muslim, just all you got to do is Google now. This is why God has the internet. It was created by CERN. That's the people trying to find how creation started. You know, instead of reading the scriptures. And probably they're all like inside us, like trying to find out things and that. Nosy Parkers, it won't benefit. Crime doesn't pay in the long run. I'm with a lot of criminals and really hard gangsters, but we've all repented and we've got love between us. They'll kill anyone that comes against me now, you know, in the spiritual and sin in the physical. And when they weren't with me, Allah and some unseen forces were protecting me, and that reassures my husband that he doesn't have to be with me all the time. Because White Paw is very cute, and he probably couldn't defend himself. He's got these little scratchy claws and those little sharp teeth. He could, you know, but he couldn't defend me against the big mob of men if they were trying to do something really bad, you know. But Allah is enough, you know. Oh, and I got two of these egg mayonnaise for £3. They were the last two, and the guy said telepathically, yeah, they're for you. Because I don't like to always buy the reduced things if there's only a few, because other people might want them, you know. I'm going to be shopping at Asda today if I can get my card to work online again. Yeah, once again, the most highest saying stock up, the famine's going to be coming to the UK and America. I'm really praying that we can make the UK, I'm envisioning a federation, like the Anarchist Federation, not a separate but together, equal but separate islands, 32 United County Island with the 6 states. under British Control. I forgive the British Army, and also for Sunday Bloody Sunday, which was disgusting. The British Army shut down many unarmed civilians, you know. So we forgive them for that and everything they've ever done. The IRA have done some bad things too, man. I don't know. Come and white paw. He's smelling the lilies. He likes to kneel up. He can't get on the table. So, hey, where's your chicken? You want your chicken? I call it chi, C-H-I, like energy. Vowels are interchangeable in Hebrew. So you can also spell it C-H-E, which is Shay, which that girl, I said to you, she wanted to be quiet. After Bob Marley, meaning dope. After he sold the album Bob Marley, which was my favourite album, the first time I ever bought. And I said, why not Kaya Shay after Shay Gibera, and Nesto Shay Gibera, meaning friend, C-H-E, you know. I was going to get the symbol tattooed on my arm. The Bible says you're not allowed to sit, you're not allowed to tattoos. I normally write, I've stopped doing it, that's why I'm getting attacked more. Write the name of God on your arms and on your walls on a bit of cardboard if you don't repeat graffiti artist amateur like me. On your windows, facing both ways. I'll do another video about that in a few days, but I have already got one. So I'm just feeling white boys cheat. And then kin, K-I-N, is like your kin and kith. That's like kin is close family. You can't choose your family, but if they betray you, King David, I think must be our ancestor one or something, says in Psalms, when my mother and my father forsake me, then the Lord will take up my cause, you know. So 2 of those for £4, and Michael tells me like have a sandwich now. I find it a little bit easier to eat, but I still need a bit of poison, a little bit of fishing. I just buy milk to make Angel's Delight. I just kill a few angels, smash them up with a bit of strawberry juice. No. It's in a packet, it's like a sachet with like powder, because I don't really like milk, but I've been told I have to drink some. I have black coffee, espresso, that's what I was saying, Nescafe, but what they do in African countries, they go to the hospitals where our sisters, I can't cheat in Hebrew, have just given birth, and they say, try our formula milk, it's really good, and then the poor sisters and their husbands run out of money to buy it, and their breast milk by then has dried up, you know. So they're really wicked people, but just like the Coca-Cola, I'm getting my revenge for drinking it. I have it, and I always say this, even if I go out to a cafe, most of the time if I get an opportunity, always have a testimony, it's very important. And I have a little bit of honey now, or sugar in my mouth, and I bought some brown sugar, like the Rolling Stone shop, brown sugar. I would say strong, sweet and black like Jesus. I drink it. It's like that. I really love Isaiah Eli. He answered my comment because none of us had heard from him for a while. Check out his music. That was the first hip-hop music I got into. I gave up listening to Immortal Technique because I started thinking he was against God. And everything you give up for God, he gives you back. I gave up wanting to be married, you know, or to date or anything. And now he's given me a husband. And apparently he's the husband I had before. That's some text songs. I think that's it. So my charity today is going to be the orphans. Oh yeah, and when I was down the shops, and there was a beautiful in spirit. He was beautiful physically, but I had no sexual feeling towards him. I was like, even to my husband, because can you realise he's here as a cat, you know, Satan would make an innocent, childish love that I've always had for everything catty. It's Baphomet. That's what happened in Ghana, man, that's me originally, and all my sisters, upright, divine femininehood, that's Baphomet, and that's also the 5 scars of the cross, and the 5 elements of Mother Nature. That's Baphomet. That's instead of being male and female, the twin flames, the 2 bodies, you know, becoming one in holy union. The marriage bed is not defiled, it becomes male and female at the same time, like androgynous. And, you know, bestiality, all kinds of, your wickedness. So yeah, so my charity is going to be those orphans, and then I'm pretty sure all my money is for the prisoners. If there's any prisoners I can find in England, I'm buying books. I normally try and buy 1 for myself, unless it's one I've already got, and then 2 for the prisoners. And this is really good. This is from Abe's books. Lara McKinley Bay, Islamic Temple Science, Noble Drelly. He was the one who introduced me to him. He's very popular, you know, among the Arab people, and translated to English in many languages, but I hadn't heard of him before. I'm quite ignorant about a lot of things. And the one I had was beautiful. It had like colour illustrations, so it was so beautiful. I must try and get another copy, because God's saying to me, you know, it says in the Bible about Jesus, Apostle Paul said, and whatever is lovely, whatever is good, fix your eyes on that. So we do deserve to have nice houses. If you're on the streets, God will provide a place for you, you know. Precious saints, the time is quite soon, you know. I think these crackers on Jacob. I am Jacob, and now I'm, that's for Al. Jacob means upsurfer or hill grabber, because him and Isu come out first. Isu was the oldest, but Jacob started to come out. I think the head of Isu come, and then Jacob pushed him back in and grabbed his heel and come out, or Isu come out and Jacob was just behind, held onto the hill, and then Isu done himself down, you know. He sold his birthright for a bowl of lentil. Every time I have a bowl of Heinz lentil soup that I really like, because all the other cheaper soup have bacon in, and that's illegal in Leviticus, in the Bible, and in the Quran. I've been told by Jesus personally that I am allowed to eat cheese and beef together now. That was more for a test, but bacon is a no-no, you understand. And also in the Quran we have updated like food laws, and it's not illegal in the Quran. I've started eating halal food again, yeah, my sacrifice, it's kind of the substance that's in my stomach I make stronger with smoking. Ted come and got it out. He didn't come and cut my stomach open or anything. It's kind of done the spiritual, but you do get pain in your stomach. Hot water bottles are the best, they're painkillers. And don't try not to eat beforehand, like if you go to hospital for an operation. I'll make a separate video about it. And then that's put into special food, you know, like the special halal meat and that is killed at Ramadan. And mine, I think it's going all over the world, but my most ones were for the Irish, tribe of Dan, the tribe of Reuben in Australia, who are all quite sick apparently, and also the Hopi Native Americans and the any other Native Americans that were sick. You know, it's for healing. See my video and my testimony on Facebook. If you're getting ill, you've taken the wrong food, or you've taken something that is holy and you're not holy. That's when you take communion, you know, the bread and the wine, and to remember Jesus or Judas' sacrifice. Jesus still paid a heavy price. He paid the most, you know, that he was in the heavens just above Judas, laughing at him like he was with me when I was on the cross, you know. Yeah, I better go, Whitepool says. Okay, I've got to clean up before Binti might come. She's my support worker, she's Muslim from Mali. Just one more thing, please, darling. Thank you. Somehow, none of my family seem to know, but in Ireland we have a song, Show Me the Way to Timbuktu, and that's about great centres of learning when Europe was in the Dark Ages, and the Irish Druids, priests and that, and some English ones no doubt went there, and all over the world great centres of learning, African learning. And I'm thinking there's a book called From Babylon to Timbuktu, which my two fake teachers had, but they didn't put it to good use, you know. One Rastafari and one Gathering Christ Church, LLOVE. And that's about how the Hebrew Israelites went from Babylon in captivity to Timbuktu, and then we got, because we still didn't obey God, we got further curses of Deuteronomy 28, worse slavery into Egypt, not the physical Egypt we were once slaves in, but spiritual Egypt in America, and all the lands of swap places. The Ark of Rastafari said to me, Zion is where the Ark of the Covenant is. It's in Tara Island, do you understand? No one can get near it. Okay, as far as I know, inshallah, God willing, Arabic. So long, I'll be on after lunch, apart from some 1 minute shorts. I'll do some short showing before and after, I promise. Okay, bye for now.